I had remembered that a couple weeks ago in the inner circle for betrayed partners that I had talked about why do betrayed partners stay? And I kind of went through some of the top reasons why betrayed partners stay. Um, Today, I want to go through why do betrayed partners leave? Now, what's interesting about this is and Doug, you can attest to this because I'm sure you say this all the time. We don't expect betrayed partners to know the answer to this question, right? Should I stay or should I go? When they're still in the middle of pain, we want people to make this decision from a place of power. And when you're making decisions from that place of power, what's happening is that you're taking in all of the data, right? You're making that decision from a logical part of your brain. So when you ultimately make that decision, there's more confidence behind it. So making decisions about whether or not to stay or go should really happen when you're kind of like on the healing journey, right? Unless there's some extenuating circumstance. We don't want anybody tolerating any abuse, anything like that. So, why would a betrayed partner leave? The reason that I like doing this today, following that, why do they stay, is because I just want betrayed partners to zoom out of your story a little bit so that you can kind of get a better understanding of almost like where you're at. So, if you listen to the one from 2 weeks ago, and I went through all of those reasons of why betrayed partners stay, you should be able to find yourself somewhere in that list. Today, as I'm going to go through some of the reasons, and these are just some, I just kind of jot some notes down, right? Like what kind of what stands out for me after doing this for so long. I just want you to see where you're at. This isn't the ultimate guide to whether you should stay or go, but it is certainly a guide to help you see where you're at. Okay. Some people sometimes don't even put there. Some of these things are not even on a betrayed partner's radar yet. So when you hear me go through them, you might be like, oh my gosh, I never even thought about that, whether it's to stay or to go. Doug, does that make sense? All that making some sense?
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense, Beth, because when I hear you say, like, just to put it on your radar, so many times when I'm having conversations with betrayed partners, they are so overwhelmed. They don't even know what to ask. They don't even know, like, how do I even process? I don't even know what I don't know right now. So I love what you're saying because if we can just help increase awareness, now comes that power of choice. That's kind of what I'm hearing you say. Is that making sense? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
that's exactly it. And I love how you just said that power of choice, right? Power of choice. So let's dive in here. I jotted down 10 things here. For again, why would a betrayed partner leave after a discovery? Number one, a continuation of the affair or watching the porn. That clear sign, right? If the unfaithful partner is still engaging in the behaviors, there's not many reasons to stay, because what are you doing now? You are subjecting yourself to those to the toxicity of those choices that the unfaithful partner is continuing to make. Now, I'm going to put just a teeny little caveat there. If the unfaithful partner is engaged in the right therapy, right? If he's working with one of our coaches, taking one of the courses, then there is a teeny tiny little window where they have to detach from an affair partner. Okay. That's not an excuse in any way, shape, or form for a betrayed partner to stay. That it's an immediate, like, okay, no contact from this day forward. Okay. If the contact continues, then a betrayed partner is going to make that decision most of the time to leave. Okay. So if there's a continuation, or if they said they're not going to watch porn anymore, and then they're still doing it secretly, right? And you catch that, that's going to be a sign that that betrayed partner is probably going to have to leave that relationship. Okay. And that'll make a little bit more sense as we go through these. So that's kind of number one. Another reason is the trickle truth. A betrayed partner will make a decision to leave if the trickle truth just doesn't end. Now, again, in my case, I didn't choose to leave, and I had almost 3 years of trickle truth. So again, that's why this is not a checklist like, okay, I have to leave now because there's trickle truth. This is just awareness. It's just an awareness. The ultimate decision is going to be yours. But that is one of those things where a betrayed partner can absolutely say, I can't take the trickle truth anymore and I need to leave. Okay, so trickle truth. Number three, if the unfaithful partner is not taking real accountability, if there's still a lot of gaslighting going on, if there's still a lot of the what we call the excuses, right? Where you weren't paying attention to me, we weren't connected, you didn't want to have sex with me. Those are all those external excuses, which means that the unfaithful partner is not taking true accountability for their choices. So if the betrayed partner is with somebody who never takes that true accountability, chances are they're going to leave. They're going to need to. Otherwise, it's just trauma after trauma after trauma inside. So that's kind of number three. Number four, and this kind of ties right into it, but it's a lack of emotional safety. Remember, after betrayal, everything is upside down and nothing feels safe. It's one of those scenarios, and Doug, I'll kind of, I'm sure you'll nod 100% when I say this. We have betrayed partners that don't trust us yet, because there's just this sense of nothing feels safe out there, right? So getting on a consultation call, Doug, right? Don't you kind of get that sometimes where they're not even sure if we're safe for them, And that's what I love about what you do and how we word this on our website. This is a safe space. This isn't a sales call. We're not pitching anything. We just want betrayed partners to feel safe when they're talking to us, because that lack of emotional safety that they're not getting that emotional safety at home. So where is it coming from? Does that kind of make sense, Doug? You kind of get that feedback?
Oh, you just hit it spot on, Beth. And that's why one of the first things I do when I get on the call with somebody is I instantly recognize how much courage it
Mhm.
took, to fill out a few questions and to actually press click, set that call, and then actually show up. Because I know for a lot of people, they're so overwhelmed, they're in a traumatized state. And one of the first things I do because of what you just said is I said, just so you know, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for trusting us. There is no pressure. There is no obligation. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. All we're going to do is have an open conversation. And the more that you feel comfortable sharing with me, the more information I'll have to be able to help you with. But there's no pressure, obligation, or anything going on here behind the scenes. And then that usually just sort of helps them relax a little bit so they can feel safe enough to actually share. And then it's kind of like, as I go through the calls, it's sort of like different levels of vulnerability and transparency, because that first 10 or 15 minutes they might share certain things and then they realize like I'm a safe person and it's okay, and I'm
Yeah,
actually following through on what I said the call was going to be at the start.
that's
And then
right.
it's like that next 15 or 20 minutes, it's like another level, a deeper level of transparency and how they're really feeling. And once they get that off their chest and they know they're in a safe space, it's almost like their cork is lifted and it's allowed to float again because they're able to release that heavy, heavy burden because they didn't even know how heavy it was until they let it go.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is exactly what we want, because we know, and again, personally, I know that feeling of just not being able to trust, and not even this isn't about trusting the spouse, right? The unfaithful one. It's I don't even trust my own gut instinct anymore, right? I
Yeah.
was I was duped. I mean, how could I have not seen all of that? So there's such a lack of emotional safety. So that was another one. So I'm going to go on. So we've done kind of 4 right now. If they're continuing the acting out, ongoing trickle truth, no real accountability, lack of emotional safety, if you're taking notes. Here's number 5. If the unfaithful partner continues to refuse to get individual help, if they refuse to get individual help, that betrayed partner, that's going to be one of those reasons that they're going to have to kind of go, okay, I don't think I can stay in this relationship. Because remember, healing is all about an individual journey, and the unfaithful partner has a lot of work to do. We've got we call them our 3 pillars, where they have to uncover their why, their how, and they have to do a full disclosure, which is their what. So the what, the why, the how is crucial. Too many unfaithful partners, and I say this, I don't blame them. It's just kind of how society is. And it's kind of this lack of awareness into what betrayal trauma really is. But too many unfaithful partners out there think that once they get caught, right? Like once they got caught and the secret is out and the affair is over, that they don't need to do anything else. They just need to stop the affair, say sorry, and everybody should just happily move on. That's not how it works, but that's how it's been presented to us for decades, if not centuries, right? Just deal with it. So a betrayed partner ultimately will make a decision to leave if the unfaithful partner refuses to get individual help. If they're stuck in that land of excuses, and they're just saying, look, I stopped the affair. I said sorry. What more can I do? There's a lot more that they have to do. So that's number 5.